Welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley, and I talk about living a purposeful life and improving yourself so that you can get out of your own way. Today, we are going to be talking about how I'm writing my novel as a beginner novel writer. Like, I have never written a novel before, and so this is my first time really taking this seriously. Like, I have dabbled a little bit in fiction writing before. I've tried doing NaNoWriMo in the past, but I've never taken the story very seriously. It's usually just sit down and write whatever comes to my mind. But this time, I'm actually taking this story seriously. It is a story that I personally am really connected to, and I'm really passionate about sharing it because I just love it. I love the characters. I love the whole story. It's a little bit emotional because parts of it come from my own life. Like, I'm using myself as a little bit of inspiration for the story. So it's just something I just really, really, really want to actually do. So I'm taking it more seriously than I have writing projects in the past. That's what I'm going to show you today. We're going to go over how I plan out the novel, how I am doing my character development, and how I actually physically write. Because I write on a Remarkable tablet. So the Remarkable tablet has been extremely useful for me in this whole novel writing process, and I will show you that. This video is not sponsored by Remarkable. It's just what I actually use to write my novel. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to show you now how I use my Remarkable and index cards in order to plan out my novel and develop my characters and actually do my writing. All right, let's go. So when it comes to planning out the novel, I have two resources that I use for that. For one, I use Derek Murphy's Plan Your Book freebie. This is like his free guide thing that you can get from signing up on his website. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. I have it on my Remarkable, just so I have it for reference whenever I'm writing, because I write on the Remarkable. But basically what this does is it breaks down the various parts of a novel and gives you a like chapter by chapter breakdown of the hero's journey. I have found this to be extremely useful when it comes to planning out my novel. And what I do is I take each of his little points and I try to think of things that could happen that go with those points, and I write them on these little index cards. I got this at Daiso, if you have a Daiso by you, but you can also get these other places. I mean, they're just little index cards on a ring. Pretty sure Office Max has something like this. And so I just write my plot points down. Sometimes I follow these things pretty well, and sometimes I veer off. For example, if I have an idea for a potential plot point that doesn't necessarily fit in here, I'll still make a card for it so that I can keep it as reference. But just to give you an idea, The Devil Loves You Too is the name of the novel. And then it starts off with Kyle's father's death, which correlates to on here. And I'm not sure you guys can actually like read this on here, but the first thing is a really bad day. So that's a really bad day. The second thing is something peculiar. And so I'm going to spoil the first two chapters of the book. That's fine. The first two chapters. Kyle gets some money is his something peculiar. So I just have gone through, and there's a bunch of these. I'm not going to show you all of them because I don't want to spoil the book, but that is how I keep track of plot points. And since they're on a ring like this, I can move them around. So if I decide to change the order of something, or add a new plot point, something like that, I can go and put it right in here. And the reason I open this up to like the center of this, like you can see, The Devil Loves You Too is at the center, is because I have another writing project that is nonfiction that is in the front. So I use the same ring for multiple projects. So when it comes to character development, I use 4x6 index cards to keep track of my characters. Every character gets at least one index card. So there's some characters for you. And then some characters get more than one. So for my main character, like for example here, I have a whole bunch of things that I'm just like brainstorming, like what's he afraid of? What are his skills? What is his location? That kind of stuff. What's he look like? That one's a really important one. And anytime I add a detail to the story, so for example, in one early chapter, we see Kyle in his job, and I come up with some details about his job that I needed to remember. So I wrote that on a card, and here, his skills card. So I talk about him being a software engineer with a focus on workflow building, which is what I came up with in that particular chapter. So having the cards, for one, helps me flesh out the characters and like kind of get to know them on a deeper level. But it also helps me like just keep track of little details in the story so I don't contradict myself later. So that was about planning my novel. So now that you know how I plan my novel, how do I actually write? So one of the things that has been very, very helpful for me to actually do this, actually put pen to paper or, pen to e-ink and write a novel, has been my accountability groups. I'm in 2 separate groups. One of the groups, we meet every other week and we send each other the work that we have written in those 2-week period. We read each other's work and then we talk about it, give each other feedback. It's very positive, so usually it's very, good feedback. We do point out occasional holes in, the plot or something, or if we have questions about something, to just help each other improve and grow as a writer. But for the most part, I'm using that as the accountability group because having it every 2 weeks means that I have to write something every 2 weeks. And the second group that I'm involved with is called Shut Up and Write. In fact, I have the little piece of paper here. It is a meetup group that you just get together with people in your local area, although they do have some online now, and you shut up and you write. So basically it's 1 hour of co-working in order to work on your writing. So I go to that every week. So that's 2 hours of co-working writing every week where I sit down and I write. And so when I go to that meeting, I will bring my Remarkable, I'll bring my Remarkable pen, no other distractions, and I will actually hand write my novel. So I go in here and I have a chapter here and I take my nice little Lamy pen. Lamy makes a pen that is compatible with the Remarkable. It looks like this. However, the inner cartridge thing that you get in here, I basically just swapped them because this is my favorite Lamy pen color, and so I've turned this Lamy pen into a Remarkable pen. When it comes to writing, I just write, I write here on my Remarkable, and then all I got to do is take the page that I just wrote. What you're looking at here is like the last page that I have written. It's kind of long, like I just write continuously on one of these, and then I go into here. You gotta like tap and hold, and then I convert to text. You can see down here it's chugging along and converting to text. Can take a minute or so, especially if I've written quite a bit on that page. All right, once it has converted, it makes a new page, which then I can go to, and it has everything I wrote in actual text. And the cool thing about the Remarkable is it will sync. So if I come out of here and I go to my main page, it will sync up. I think it's already synced. Kind of happens pretty quickly. All right, then I'll jump over to my computer and we'll edit it on my laptop and export a new version. All right, so there you have it. That is how I use my Remarkable tablet and index cards to work on writing a novel as a beginner novel writer. So far, it's working very well for me. These tools, combined with the groups that I have joined to keep me accountable, has allowed me to make a pretty decent amount of progress in the last month of writing. I am currently halfway through Act 1 of the novel. Now, if this topic interests you and you want to follow my progress in writing my novel, and potentially even, I'm probably going to share parts of the novel here on YouTube, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel for more of this sort of thing. Overall, this channel is about me tracking my progress and teaching you how I reach my goals and tracking my 6 main goals in my life, as well as my personal development in order to live a more purposeful life. I want to bring you along for the journey, so go ahead and subscribe if that interests you. All right, I will see see you in the next video. Take care, have fun, and cheers.